Good day everyone, my name is Joy Tupaz,
Caira, Leonardo,
and Angel Cathleen Parco, and we are the group 2.
Our topic is about special education versus regular education. Regular education is the term often used to describe the educational experience of typically developing children. By the other hand, special education programs are designed for those students who are mentally, physically, socially, and emotionally delayed, which places them behind their peers. As you can see, these two provide an example of different type of education. We can find differences such as their educators, academic content, and method of teaching, but we can also find similarities in their academic content. Special education is instruction that is especially designed to meet the unique needs of a child with a disability. This means education that is individually developed to address a specific child's need that result from his or her disability.
Special education versus regular education in terms of school admission. Regular education, for example, entrance examination and requirements. This means the entrance exam score are expected to provide an indication of their relative readiness for higher education at the point of entry. The semestral grades, on the other hand, provide an indication how are they faring in banner subjects. It will also help every teacher to understand the mental capacity of the students and to rectify their shortcomings. Special education, identification and assessment. Article 3, Section 1. In Article 3, Section 1 states that identification, screening, assessment, and evaluation of children with special needs shall be conducted by the school and the community utilizing appropriate assessment instruments. Identification and assessment of every child shall be conducted as early as possible. The team shall be composed of persons with working knowledge and understanding of children with special needs, such as the following. Number 1. Parents, guardians, neighbors, and friends. Number 2. Regular teachers are teachers employed on contracts of a month or more. Number 3. Special education teachers. They are the one that educates children who face physical, mental, emotional, and learning disabilities. Number 4. Guidance counselors. They assist and advise students about academic and personal decisions. Number 5. School administrators. They provide leadership in times of crisis and lay out optimistic visions for the future of educational institutions. Number 6. Health workers. They help patients navigate healthcare and social service systems. Number 7. Social workers. Their primary responsibility is to help their clients to solve problems. Number 8. Psychologists. They identify organizational issues and diagnose disorders. Number 9. Speech and physical therapists. The speech therapist's responsibilities includes performing patient assessments, developing individual treatment plans, and other healthcare professionals. In physical therapies, they help patients with injuries and chronic health conditions regain their range of motion. Number 10. Law enforcement officers. They are responsible for maintaining public order and safety, enforcing the law, preventing, detecting, and investigating criminal activities. And lastly, number 11. Probation officers. They help offenders fulfill their probation by employing various monitoring techniques and arranging additional services as may be required. The synthesis of identification and diagnostic information shall be the basis for the appropriate educational placement of the child with special needs.
Curriculum as mandated by DepEd. Article 5, Section 1, Policies and Guidelines. Regular curriculum. The curriculum prescribed for regular children. This curriculum refers to the lessons and academic content taught in a school. It is typically refers for the knowledge and skills that the student are expected to learn, which include the learning standards and learning objectives that they are expected to meet. For example, the units and lessons that teachers teach, the assignments and projects give to students, the books, materials, videos, presentations, and readings used in a course, and the tests, assessments, and other methods used to evaluate student learning. Special curriculum. The curriculum for children with special needs aim primarily at developing special adaptive skills to maximize their potentials. This curriculum is intended to develop students' potential and equip them with essential knowledge and life skills through key learning areas such as academic, daily living, physical education and sports, social-emotional, the arts, and vocational. Modified curriculum. The curriculum prescribed for regular children with certain adaptations to meet the needs of special children. This curriculum is changing what the student is expected to learn, not the manner in which it is presented. On the other hand, modified curriculum is limiting the topics or skills that the student is taught and held responsible for learning. For example, if a student has difficulty concentrating for long periods or difficulty with writing, maybe the team will decide that he should have shortened assignments, like giving him only 3 math problems instead of 10. He is still learning the same thing, but he is doing fewer problems to accommodate his disability. Visual impaired. Sensory training is special instruction in braille reading and writing, mathematics, orientation and mobility, braille music, and typing. Visual impaired is any kind of vision loss. Ito yung mga bata na malalabo ang mata. Matutulungan silang matuto in a different ways, like sensory training. Ito yung techniques para ma-develop yung functioning ng sensory system ng mga bata under visual impaired. Special instruction in braille reading and writing. Braille is a reading and writing system for blind and vision impaired people. It is made up of raised dots that can be read by touch. Hearing impaired. Communication and language development based on the philosophy of total communication, which is tailored to meet the individual child communication and educational needs. Hearing impaired is any degree of hearing loss. Ito yung mga bata na may problema sa pandinig. So, paano ba matutulungan ang mga bata under hearing impaired na matuto? The teacher should create a good listening environment, and the child who have a hearing problem should sit close to where the teacher stands or sits when teaching and away from noise sources when possible. Also, the teacher can use classroom amplification system to help the child be able to hear and understand the speaker's voice. Behavior problems. Special activities and instructional techniques for the normalization of behavior with emphasis in moral, civic, and spiritual values, as well as training in livelihood and technical and academic skills to prepare them for the world of work. Behavior problems is when the children cannot adjust to complex environment around them. They become unable to behave in the socially acceptable way, resulting in exhibition of peculiar behaviors. Special activities and instructional techniques will help students under behavior problems. It develops their moral, civic, and spiritual values, as well as training in livelihood, technical, and academic skills to prepare them for the world of work.
Instructional materials, methods, and strategies. Regular education. Dimensional following the curriculum set objectives for learning. They can use visualization, that bring dull academic concepts to life with visual and practical learning experiences, helping students to understand how their schooling applies in the real world. For example, interactive whiteboard to display photos, audio clips, and videos, as well as encouraging your students to get out of their seats with classroom experiments and local field trips. They can also use cooperative learning that encourage students of mixed abilities to work together by promoting small groups or whole class activities. They can also use inquiry-based instruction, differentiation, technology in the classroom, behavior management, or professional development. Special education use constructivism or learning by experience. Special education teachers need to have a smart teaching strategies that make them expected to do quite a lot, assess students' skills to determine their needs and develop teaching plans, organize and assign activities that are specific to each student's abilities, teach and mentor students as a class, in small groups and one-on-one. There are also instructional materials, methods, and strategies that applies to both regular and SPED. Like, use instructional materials that are low cost and indigenous materials shall be developed for the use of children. Or, teaching strategies shall be and multidimensional. They shall make maximum use of all remaining sense modalities and provides for active participation in the learning process. For a number of students, regular education has standard or 30 to 45 students per classroom, while SPED or special education for maximum efficiency class size is given under Article 4, Section 2 of the Guidelines and Policies for Special Education.
Teachers. Regular education. For a regular education teacher, the teacher should have a college degree of Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education or Secondary Education. Special education. Article 7, Section 1, for the effective implementation of the special education program, the education, welfare, and training of personnel shall be given high priority. All personnel involved in education of children with special needs shall have adequate and appropriate educational background and training and personnel qualities. Ibig sabihin, ang mga teachers sa special education ay dapat mayroong adequate and appropriate educational background and training and personnel qualities dahil mas priority ang mga batang may special needs. Education and work experience. For a special education teacher, they should have a degree of Bachelor of Elementary Education specializing in special education, Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education of Secondary Education, major in Special Education, Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education or Secondary plus 18 units in Special Education in the graduate level, Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education or Secondary Education plus 16 units in Special Education with 4 years of very satisfactory experience in the regular schools, Bachelor of Science in Elementary or Secondary Education plus 14 units in Special Education with 4 years of very satisfactory experience in the regular school, Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education or Secondary Education plus 12 units in Special Education with 6 years of very satisfactory experience in the regular schools. For regional and division supervisors, coordinators, and administrators of special schools and centers, they should have a degree of Master of Arts with 18 units in special education or any related field.